Nancy, why are you so quiet today? You don't look happy.
It's my dad. You know, sometimes I wish my dad is like my mom. Sometimes I ask myself if my dad is truly my biological father.
Nancy, that's not true. You know your dad loves you. Maybe he does not like the way you behave sometimes.
How do you mean? How do I behave?
Well, I'm not going to say anything. Maybe you should talk to him. He is your father.
Never. Hi Nancy, can I join you guys? No, there are a lot of space here in the library, go look for another space and sit. Now leave.
Why will you talk to me like that, as if your father owns this place? I was only polite by asking if I can join you guys, you don't have to be rude.
Excuse you, is something wrong with you?
Nancy, that's enough.
The next time you will mention my dad's name in any of your conversation, you won't like what I will do to you.
What will you do, you spoilt brat? You slap me, I will report you.
Get out.
Nancy, why did you slap her?
Didn't you see the way she talked to me?
But you should have ignored her. This your attitude, you need to stop it.
That's enough. I'm leaving.
Really, Nancy? This girl is just something else.
Darling. What is it?
The school called me this morning. They said your daughter slapped her schoolmate in school yesterday. Why are you acting surprised? You are the one spoiling this girl. Every day the school keeps calling me, reporting her to me. Is she the only one in that school? The next time she will misbehave again, she won't like what I will do to her.
Nancy, why did you hit your schoolmate? Mom, she started it first. She called me a spoilt brat, and even talked to Dad rudely. When such thing happens next, report to your teacher, or better still, report to us. Do you understand? Good. Nanny.
Yes, Ma.
Please prepare her for school.
All right, ma'am.
Mom, wait. Mom, can the limousine drop me in school today? I don't want to go to school with the regular car. Please, Mom. Anything for my beautiful angel. Yes. I have the best mom in the world. You the best mom. I love you so much. I love you too, my angel. Now start preparing for school. I don't want you to go late. All right, Mom. I am a princess. Nobody talks to me rudely. If you talk to me rudely, you won't get away with it. Nanny, what is it?
Ma'am, are you not going to the office today?
No, why?
Nothing. Do you want me to get you anything?
Yes, please, get me another can of drink.
All right, ma'am.
Hey, you, so this is your class.
You again. Have you come to receive another slab?
Am not here to exchange words with you. I want you to apologize for what you did to me the other day.
Do you know who I am? You want me to apologize to a lowlife like you? You must be joking. Come and leave my sight, you stink. She wants me to apologize to her. You must be dreaming. Apology, my foot.
Hi Nancy. What are you doing here all alone? It's break time, why didn't you go out to play?
Margaret, where have you been? Where did you go?
I went to use the restroom. I thought I told you.
Since.
What do you mean since? Is not up to 20 minutes. Wait, I thought I saw that girl you slapped the other day. I saw her walking out from this class.
She came here asking me to apologize to her, can you imagine?
Did you apologize to her?
No.
But why? You should have apologized to her. What you did to that girl the other day is bad.
You know, sometimes I ask myself how I became friends with you.
Like seriously. Okay, I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry, why are you still frowning your face? Learn how to smile, you will easily get wrinkles from frowning your face all the time. Okay, let's go outside and play.
Leave me alone, I'm not going anywhere.
Good day, ma'am. Welcome to Tech Store. What would you like to get?
I want to buy phone for my daughter.
All right, ma'am. You can go around and make your choice.
All right, thank you. Mom, what are we doing here? Your birthday is next month, right? I want to get you a brand new phone. Yes. Mom, I want the latest iPhone. iPhone 15. Yes, Mom. No, Nancy. iPhone 15 is too big for you. Then I don't want any other phone. My baby, don't be like that. Don't worry, when you come of age I will definitely buy you the latest iPhone. Alright, I will buy you the iPhone. Are you serious, Mom? Anything for my daughter. Thanks, Mom. I love you. So my daughter, where would you want to go on your birthday? Dubai. I mean where I can take you to. I'm not talking about traveling. Yes, Mom, I heard you loud and clear. I want to travel to Dubai for my birthday. I heard they have a lot of beautiful places you can visit in Dubai. So I want to travel there. I don't think your dad will agree to that. But Mom, you can convince him. Please convince him for me. Please. Okay, yes. Dubai, here I come.
I want you to deal with her mercilessly.
Who is this person?
Her name is Nancy Davis. I will forward her picture to you.
I think I know that girl. But why is everybody complaining about this same girl?
She's mannerless, rude and arrogant. I want you to lessen her wings for me.
So what will I get in return after I accomplish this mission?
You've always wished to have an iPad, right? I will get one for you.
Deal.
Deal.
All right, I'm leaving.
Please dish the food and transfer them to the dining table. Keep the rest in the fridge.
All right, ma'am. Dorothy. Can I have a word with you?
Sure. Go on.
It's about your daughter Nancy. Please don't be offended with what I am going to say. Dorothy, don't you think you are spoiling her too much? The way you are bringing her up.
That's enough. Stop talking about my daughter. She's my daughter and I am her mother. I have the right to raise her up in any way I want to. Don't teach me how to raise my child.
Then raise her up in the right way.
I said, enough.
Dorothy, please let me finish.
Is like you have gotten another job somewhere else.
I'm sorry.
Hello. What happened to my daughter? Please text me the address right now. Nurse, excuse me.
Yes.
Please, how is my daughter?
The doctors are attending to her. Please excuse me.
Wait, please. Can I see her? Please, I want to see my daughter.
Please calm down. We will call you when we need your attention.
Margaret, please calm down. Nancy will be fine. Please stop crying.
The animals that did this to my daughter will pay for this.
Few hours later.
Dorothy.
Victor.
Stop crying. Where is she? Where is my daughter?
She's still at the emergency room.
What really happened?
I don't know. The school said they saw her lying lifeless in the school toilet with bruises all over her body.
Are you serious? Whosoever that have hands in what happened to my daughter, please make sure you arrest them all.
Don't worry, Sir Victor. We will definitely do our job, and I will keep in contact with you.
Thank you very much, officer.
Your name is Margaret, right? What really happened to your friend? I learned that both of you were very close.
Yes.
So talk to me. What really happened?
I don't really know. That very day she told me she wants to go and use the toilet. I did not follow her because I was writing note in the class. I waited for her for 1 hour plus, but I did not see her return to the class. I had to leave what I was doing to go check her out. Only for me to see Nancy lying lifeless on the toilet floor.
Do you have idea if she's having issues with anybody in the school?
Nancy has a lot of enemies. So I don't know which one could have done this to her.
Do you know any of these enemies? I want you to mention names. I'm listening.
See what you have done. I only told you to deal with her, not to kill her.
We did what you asked us to do. And she's not dead.
Who told you? She's half dead. You people nearly killed her. Oh, my God. See, let me tell you. Nobody should mention my name. I don't know you, you don't know me. Nobody should mention my name. Do you understand? I'm out of here.
Doctor, how is my daughter doing?
As you can see, she's still in a very critical condition.
Will she be fine?
With a series of tests we did, we realized that she was not only beaten, they also gave her poisoned substance to drink. We are trying our best. Let's just keep praying and hoping on God.
God, please. I don't want to lose my only child. Please spare her life for me. Please, doctor, do all what you can. I don't want to lose my daughter. Dorothy. You should go home and rest. I will stay here with her.
No, I'm not leaving here till my daughter gets better.
But you have been here since when this incident happened. You haven't even rest nor sleep. Please, I don't want you to fall sick. The police officer called me this morning. She told me that they have arrested all the students that are involved in what happened to our daughter.
Are you serious? Good. I will make sure they pay for what they did to my daughter.
Dorothy. You are here. Have been looking for you. For 1 month now, you haven't rested, you haven't had a good sleep either. Please take things easy, let's keep praying for her, she will wake up one day. Nothing will happen to her. You look sick already, please go home and take care of yourself.
I don't think you know how I feel. My heart is heavy, my heart can't take seeing my only child lying lifelessly on that hospital bed. I will kill myself if anything should happen to her.
God forbid, nothing will happen to her. Have faith in God, please.
When I was 19 years old, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, and my uncle wouldn't assist us financially unless I sleep with him. The doctors wouldn't treat my mom either unless we made a deposit of $3,000. I told my mom about it, and she forbid me from sleeping with my uncle. She preferred to die, but I couldn't let her go because my dad was late, and she's all I've got left in this lonely world. If she dies, I will suffer loneliness for the rest of my life and might not live past 20 years because I have no one to run to or comfort me, and I might result to committing suicide. More devastating was the fact that my uncle was HIV positive. This has hindered and delayed him from getting married. Despite this, he still insisted that I must have an affair with him, or watch my mom die of breast cancer. I ran from pillar to post, looking for money. 10% said they don't have it, and 90% said they do, but I must give my body in exchange for the money. I've been working as a cleaner at a local hotel, where I get paid $25. It is from this money that my mom and I would eat, buy clothes, and pay bills. I had to trek a long distance to work 7 times a week, just so that the $25 would be enough to take care of me and my mom. I don't celebrate festive periods like Christmas and New Year, not because I didn't want to, but because I only had 5 gowns, 2 skirts, 2 blouses, and my working uniform in the hotel where I worked. I met our manager and pleaded that he speak with the boss if he could assist me. I got the same response, that if only I agreed to sleep with him, he would give me the money. I felt bad and said, no. I went back to my mom and told her that all the people I met who had the money to give me requested my body in return. She said, "It's okay, Dorothy. You're my angel, and I can never trade you for money. Let me go in peace, I've lived long enough. Do not save me with the gift of the youth. Save it for that man who deserves it tomorrow. You're all I've got, and I cannot sell your dignity to buy more time on earth. I'm already 55, and I've lived long enough. Let me go, and go make meaning of your life. I believe in you. Be strong, Dorothy. Go into the world and make Mama proud." She kept talking and smiling as warm tears rolled down her cheeks in slow motion and soaked the pillow. She held my hands, and I could feel the fear, pain, and agony in her trembling grip as she said, "I love you," and passed away. I thought she had fallen asleep. I refused to believe she was gone. I said, "Mommy, Mommy, please don't go. Come back, please don't go. I need you to come back. Mommy, wake up, I don't want you to go. Please wake up. I feel so lonely. Mommy, please wake up, talk to me, Mommy." I screamed, and screamed, no. 1 month after my mom's death, I was finally emotionally ready to resume work. Before she died, I had just gotten paid, and it was from that money I took care of myself for a period of 1 month until she was buried. My uncle never showed up when she was alive, but when she died, in order not to raise suspicion from his relatives, he contributed massively for the burial. In doing so, he earned for himself buckets of adulation and praise from his relatives, but I was the only one who knew that he was an evil and very wicked man, a lion in sheep's clothing. It was Sunday the 30th of April, and I decided to carry out a general cleanup, hoping to resume work on Monday at the hotel where I worked as a cleaner. I turned the house upside down, making sure I cleaned every nook and cranny. I had already informed my colleague at work to come and stay with me. Lisa was living with a guy because she had no place to go. Her parents were in the village, and she had relocated to town in search of greener pastures. As I was dusting and rearranging my late mom's clothes, trying to fit them into her suitcase, a white paper fell from one of her wrappers, but I didn't notice it and kept doing what I was doing. After arranging the clothes, I began sweeping, and while sweeping, I noticed a squeezed large piece of paper on the floor, looking very new compared to the rest. Before my mom died, she tried to say something to me, but she couldn't. Even as she held my hands, I noticed her attempting to raise her right hand and show me something, but her strength would fail her. I picked up the paper to find out what it was. As I unwrapped it, I discovered 2 more papers inside. I sat down to check the contents, already guessing that this was what my mom had wanted to give me before she died. To my greatest shock, one was a check of $500, written and signed by my mom, and the other was a letter written by her that said, "Dorothy, my angel, if you're reading this letter, then I'm already dead." Beside this letter is a check of $500, my life savings for donkey years. I know I've failed you as a mom, and even as a teenager, I've made you suffer like an adult. I wish I never married your dad, causing you these great troubles. I never loved your dad for a day. I was forced by my mom to marry him because he had money. I wish I had a mom like myself, who was never moved by material things, let alone love because of it. I had a boyfriend whom I loved so much, and he loved me too. My mom despised him because he was merely an electrician. She never allowed him inside the gate whenever he paid me a visit. I will have to sneak out at the solitude of the night's zenith, just so that Michael and I could exchange whispers of affection, but not for too long because I was scared of my mom noticing I had gone out to meet him. I remembered running to my dad many times, with tears in my eyes, begging him to convince my mom to let me marry Michael. He tried, but my mom persisted. "You must marry Felix, whether you like it or not," my mom would always scold me. Felix was the manager in the firm where my mom worked as an accountant. His parents were descendants of fame and fortune. At a very young age, Felix was already the manager of one of the biggest fintech companies in town. Fast forward to 15 years later, my husband, your dad, Felix died from alcohol poisoning. He was addicted to drinking very potent alcoholic drinks and thus died at a very young age. I was happy he died because when he was alive, he maltreated me like a slave, and each time I told my mom, she waved it off, as she had everything to gain from their family as long as I was married to Felix. When he died, his parents held me responsible for his death. They somehow knew I never loved him and capitalized on that to blame me for his sudden demise. They seized all his properties, chased me away from his house, and relieved my mom of her duty, accusing her of sending her daughter to claim the life of their son. I was pregnant with you at the time. I abhorred my mom and resorted to squatting with Vivian, my course mate back in college. Vivian was still single and was working as a public relations officer with some government bodies. She also owned a mini restaurant in town. As an old friend, she employed me in her restaurant as one of her cooks. I lived in one of the detached houses in her exotic mansion for 1 year until something terrible happened that made me leave and rent a 2-room apartment with the little savings I had. I was very comfortable living with Vivian, my course mate back in college. She was very nice and kind to me, and we never quarreled for a day. She made me feel at home, and in fact, she paid me more than the rest of the cooks who worked in her mini restaurant. She treated me like her own sister. Due to my condition at the time, and the fact that I had just experienced a very turbulent situation, I never paid too much attention to the real source of Vivian's wealth. She always came home late from work, at about 10 p.m. every day. I had thought it was the nature of her work, until I decided to keep my eyes peeled and carry out some investigations. I asked my colleagues a few questions in her restaurant where I was working and discovered that, aside from owning a restaurant and working with the government as a public relations officer, Vivian's real source of income was from her sugar daddies. Then I knew why she always came home late. I worked for 3 more months, saved up, gave her some flimsy excuses, and left for good. I never wanted her to influence me negatively, especially my unborn child. Though I came from a home where money controlled everything, I vowed to create one where integrity and honesty controlled everything. Dorothy, my angel, I cannot tell you everything with ink and paper, but hold on to this little story of mine and become the mother I've always dreamt to be. I had a dream, but the scorching hands of fate would fail me. Use this $500 and go to school. I know it won't be enough, but I pray that God will make a way for you. Go, my angel, make Mama proud. I believe in you, I love you. Yours forever, Anita. I cried, and cried. The letter became completely wet, not with water but with my tears. No, I screamed. It was as if she never died a month ago but right there in my presence. I could feel her, I could see her, I could even touch her. The feelings of nostalgia felt so real. I cried that morning until my eyes became swollen, and my sight became blurry. I lost my voice in the multitude of screams, lost my appetite, and cried throughout the day. I no longer had the strength to clean the house, and I lay right there on the floor, sobbing, rolling, and groaning from dusk till dawn. I was a thin line away from death. I swam in the pool of my own tears, throwing a bucket full of, "Why?" to God. I said, "Why me? Just tell me why. What did I do to deserve this? When did it become a crime to be a good mother? Why did you let my mom go through so much pain? Oh God, please tell me why." I thought of committing suicide, yes. I just wanted to end it right there because, for crying out loud, of what use was I still alive when I had no father, no brother, and no mother? Why should I live? Why should I even try to succeed in life when the people who should clap for me and rejoice with me when I finally succeed are no more? As I lay on the floor, famished and frustrated, trying to find reasons why I should live past that Sunday, I heard footsteps heading towards my door. I knew it was Lisa, my colleague at the hotel where I worked, whom I had asked to come squat with me for the meantime. If not Lisa, not even a housefly would come to check on me because I was a lonely girl, living in a lonely world, and I just lost the only person who made me feel whole, my mom. Seeing that Lisa was fast approaching, I managed to stand up and receive her. She already knew my mom was gone, so I never needed to pretend I wasn't crying. I opened the door, hoping I had found someone who might help me answer the big question, why should I live past that Sunday? Lisa was shocked to see me looking like trash, wearing a garment of tears and sand, and seeming like a mad girl. She sighed, gave me a comforting hug, and joined me in mourning, groaning, and wailing. She tried so hard to comfort me, assuring me that I was no longer alone, saying, "I'm here, you've got me, we've got this, please stop crying Dorothy, it's okay." I asked her to bring an old bench from the back of the door so that we could sit down and perhaps discuss. As she was trying to pull out the bench, a white envelope fell from the back pocket of the trousers she wore, but she didn't notice it. I picked it up and out of curiosity, decided to open it to see what was inside. Lo and behold, it was my resignation letter, written and signed by our manager at the hotel where we worked as cleaners. I was puzzled and wondered what I had done wrong. The day after my mom's death, I remembered calling him to seek permission and go on a 1-month leave for my mom's burial. At first, he showed signs of disagreement, but as I pleaded further, he agreed and asked me to be sure to resume work on the 1st of May. That day was Sunday, and the next day, Monday, was the 1st of May. So I was confused and tried to figure out why I was getting a sack letter a day before our agreement. I stood in mystification trying to uncover the reason behind my dismissal when Lisa brought the bench, turned, saw me with the white envelope, touched her back pocket, and was sad that I knew even before she told me. She quickly snatched the letter from me and pleaded that I should not let it disturb me. She asked me to pretend I never saw it, but guess it was easier said than done. She expressed her regret in keeping the letter carelessly, thereby informing me too early. She said she had intended to inform me the next morning when the weight of my burden should already be minimal. Hot tears of pain, anguish, and sorrow began streaming down my eyes, as I started connecting the dots. I began to think about what would have become of me if my mom never left something for me to hold on to. I drifted back in thoughts and became so worried and scared over what would have been my fate if my mom left nothing for me, and I finished cleaning up the house, hoping to resume work on Monday, and Lisa arrived with this bad news. I froze in shock and thoughts. I was jaded and tapped out, not knowing if I should thank God that my mom left something tangible behind to help me stay alive, or if I should question God that, supposing my mom had left nothing, was this what was awaiting me? I turned to Lisa and asked her why. Why was I dismissed? Why did the manager dismiss me? I grilled, "Dorothy, you need to calm down. You could go crazy tonight if you continue like this. Please calm down. We can talk about this tomorrow. Please calm down," she said, holding my hands and crying. "Answer me, Lisa," I said. "Answer me. You must answer me. Tell me why," I said. "Tell me why." I pumped at her, breathing heavily like I was going to pass out. "You're not ready. You don't want to know why, but since you persist, I'm going to tell you," she said. "Every single female worker in that hotel, including me, have slept with the manager, and some with the boss. After you reached out to the manager to help you with some money to treat your mom of cancer, he requested to sleep with you, and you refused. He wasn't happy about it. In fact, he'd spread the news, and almost everyone knew that you turned the manager's request to sleep with you down. Truth be told, even before your mom's death, he had wanted to dismiss you after you turned him down. Immediately you called him that your mom was dead, and you needed a 1-month break for the burial. He saw that as a very good opportunity to relieve you of your duty. He didn't dismiss you because you took a leave from work. He dismissed you because you refused to sleep with him before he could assist you with the money for the treatment of your mom's cancer. Before Lisa could even finish, I got up, ran to the kitchen to get a knife, and stabbed myself, and she ran after me, as though she knew what I was going to do, to stop me. I ran ahead of Lisa, took the kitchen knife, raised it up, and was about to plunge it into my stomach when Lisa grabbed my hands from behind and tried to snatch the knife from me. "Don't do it. Give me the knife, Dorothy, please don't do it," she said. "Why shouldn't I do it? Life is so unfair to me, and I think it's time I let go. Leave the knife, mind your business, and let me decide what I want to do with my life. You're in no position to tell me what I should do with my life. Back off now," I yelled back at Lisa, trying so hard to force the knife inside my belly. "Okay, forget about me. Let's talk about your mom. Do you think her spirit would find solace if you should end it here? You're the last of your kind, and you must stay alive to redeem that which was lost. If you die now, you will completely erase your entire bloodline. Your dad is gone, your mom is gone, and you're the only one who is left of this core family. Only you have the mantle and the power, like an avatar, to rewrite history and rebuild your broken foundations. You're the last, but you don't have to be the end. I don't know many details about your past, but you must never let it decide the path you choose. Life indeed may not have been fair to you, but that doesn't mean you should also be unfair to yourself. Don't let life walk you like a dog, let life be the dog you walk. Dorothy, like a phoenix, sometimes we need to die, not a physical death, to live again. We need to get burned to be born again. We need to fall to rise again. If you die because your mom died, you just lost 2 zeros. If you die because you lost your job, you just proved your life was tied to it, and you lose 2 zeros. Wake up, Dorothy, I know you're willing to die because your whole family is dead, but we don't have to die for what we could live for. We rather need to live for what we could die for. This is the real death. To live. My hands began to shake, and I no longer had the strength to hold onto the knife. The words of Lisa weakened my body and strengthened my spirit. I gave up the knife, knelt down, and started crying. All the while that Lisa was speaking, I wasn't listening to Lisa. I was listening to my mum. Lisa was speaking, but what I heard was my mum speaking. It felt so real, as though I was reading another letter she wrote for me. The words of Lisa did sink so deep that I wished she never stopped talking. The more she spoke, the more my spirit was strengthened, and the more I kept seeing reasons to stay alive, try again, be strong, and push again. I hadn't even told Lisa about the letter and money my mom left behind, and she already gave me enough reasons to stay alive. She won my heart and won my trust, and hence, I felt confident enough to tell her about the letter and the money. I hoped that in doing so, we could put heads together and come up with something tangible I could do with the money. As I managed to stand up so that we could sit down to discuss that, I noticed that Lisa was crying. At first, I thought it's because of what just happened, but as I looked again, her countenance clearly spoke of a new grief. I was curious and asked her why she was crying. "Lisa, you don't seem to be happy even after I listened to you. What again?" "I reckon these tears are new. Why are you crying? What are you hiding from me? Please tell me, I may not be able to bear hearing them another day. Tell me everything today, please don't hold them back. I'm used to bad news already, I know that I am so unlucky. Tell me, and I promise I won't hurt myself this time. It's a promise, please tell me," I said. "Trust me, Dorothy, you don't want to hear this one. You've heard enough bad news lately, and you've been through so much already. You never would have even known about losing your job today. It was a mistake, and I wish it never happened. Just take a look at how much havoc it almost wreaked on you. In fact, this bad news isn't for you, neither is it about you. It's about me, and don't worry, I can bear it all alone. I'd be a very heartless friend to add to your burdens at this moment when you already have more than you can carry. You didn't even ask me why I didn't come along with my luggage, but it's okay. I don't expect you to notice that because you're going through a lot right now. I'm sorry, Dorothy, I do really appreciate the fact that you were kind enough to ask me to come live with you. Thank you so much, but I can't do that, and trust me, it's for your overall good. I've done unspeakable things that I am not proud of in the past, and it seems it's judgment time for me. My cup of iniquity is full, and karma has come to reward my misdeeds. What are you talking about? Why are you speaking in proverbs? Lisa, please stop it. You're making me even more curious. You're not leaving this house tonight until you tell me what's wrong with you. You can't come all the way to my house to help me heal and expect me to let you go treat your own bruises all alone. Who does that? I'm never going to let that happen, so I think it's better you start talking. I said as I went to lock the door. Lisa sat down for 15 minutes. When she saw that I was serious, she started talking and told me things that shocked me to my core. I also came from a poor family, like you, Dorothy. And if I'm being honest, I envy you. You've gone through similar things I went through, yet you never stooped so low as to trade your body for money. Well, I didn't just trade mine for money, I've been surviving for the past 25 years doing so. I trade mine for daily bread, and you can only imagine how often I needed to do that to survive in this cruel world. My first attempt was when I was barely 12 years old, and since then, it has become a part and parcel of me, gradually eating me up into nothingness. If you hadn't locked that door and held me back tonight, that would have been the last time you would see me. I was already prepared to do something really bad. I had wanted to take something that would kill me slowly and try sleeping with my boyfriend tonight, so that it would seem like I died while having an affair with him, and hence implicate him. He, among others, has taken too many advantages of my being poor and destitute to abuse my body, satisfying their unending monstrous fleshly desires without ever considering for a day that I am human or showing any sign of remorse. He considered it a fair trade, and every night I spent with him, I paid in full with the currency of intimacy and copulation. How about our manager? He is heartless and perverse. In order to retain my position as a cleaner, I've been philandering with him every Sunday for the past 5 years. I wish I had never left my mom in the village and followed my brother to town when I was just 12 years old. That day marked the beginning of my downfall. We arrived in this city with absolutely nothing, aside from our luggage. We didn't have money to eat our next meal, let alone to rent an apartment. The only thing we had was the phone number of our cousin brother who was living in this town, and he asked us to call him once we arrived at the park. He sent someone to pick us up, and we were taken to his 2-bedroom flat. We were just kids at the time, so we only knew he had money but never knew the source of his wealth. That very day we came to the town, and that same night we moved into my cousin's house. He deflowered me at the age of 12 and welcomed me into a world of trade by barter, where as a helpless lady, you must give up your treasure for their pleasure in exchange for chips and coins. He ushered me into a world of filth, where golem and ratbag men dared to compare mere naira and kobo, and found it transactional worthy with the sacred and hallowed dignity and primacy of a woman. That night, I was forced by my cousin brother to make my first transaction. And, like it wasn't enough, he made me a customer of depravity and debauchery, feasting comfortably every disgusting night on my divine gift as a lady, until I became an empty vessel, useless, and addicted to selling my body in exchange for peanuts. Few days ago, I went for a checkup, and the results showed that I was HIV positive, and that I've lost forever my feminine gift of conception. My womb is gone, and my life is next in line. Dorothy, I envy you, and I plead with you to please stay alive. You may think that your condition right now is the worst. Not until you see the condition of others. You may think that your life is the most complicated and disorganized until you look out there and see people whose days are numbered and do not have the privilege to even stay alive for too long, let alone enjoy a disoriented life. You do not need me to remind you that the gift of life is the gift of hope. We lived with my cousin brother until I was 20 years old and decided it was better I transact with strangers out there than transact with my blood brother. He made me feel like a savage and a scapegrace, and I left in shame to trade with a different race. My brother was 5 years older than me and was 17 when we first arrived in this town. Unfortunately for him, he reaped the fruit of his recklessness and perverse lifestyle earlier than me. 1 year before I relocated and left my cousin's house, my brother died at the hands of his rivals. He became a cultist and died in the hands of cultists. Dorothy, please open the door and let me go to receive with gladness the reward of my negligence and misconduct. Do not try to stop me, I am better off dead than alive. Just let me go and eat the bitter fruit of all my unrighteous labor. Please open the door, I want to go now. For the first time in my life, I saw someone whose predicaments and challenges were far greater than mine, and she was even proud of me, who almost wanted to end my life because I felt I was the most unfortunate and unlucky girl on earth. I was speechless and didn't even know where to start consoling Lisa. I never saw this coming, and I never knew that all the while, Lisa was going through such a difficult situation far worse than mine. I stood like a mannequin, desperately searching for the right words of encouragement to share with Lisa, hoping she would change her mind. As I opened my mouth in faith and tried to say something good, she interjected and said, "Please don't do it. It's of no use now. Just open the door and let me go." Dorothy was 25 years old, and I was barely 19 years old, looking at how serious she was and the scary glance she threw at me as she walked up to the door. I didn't know when I drifted backward and allowed her to go. I tried making a move but couldn't. I don't know what happened, but at that moment, I was in a twin prison of Lisa's and my own predicaments. Just thinking about them pinned me down like a curtain. She opened the door, walked outside, turned around, and said, "Dorothy, no matter how broke, hungry, and desperate you are, never trade your feminine gift for chips and coins. They will tell you it doesn't matter, that it's normal to use what you have to get what you want, but they will never tell you the end result of all those who did this ungodly transaction. The more you use what you have to get what you want, the more you lose what you have and get what you don't want. We can't cheat nature, Dorothy. I'm a woman like you are, blessed with a sacred treasure capable of bringing nobles and nabobs on their knees, begging to have just a taste to give us a stake in their megabucks and money bags. Just once, they say. Just do it, it's just a minute of intimacy, and I'll quench your thirst and satisfy your hunger. Use what you have and get what you want. And when you yield, at first it feels like nothing. You think you were being smart. You toss a pill, sink it down, and flush it out. You wear an innocent perfume and proceed like a responsible woman to solve those stubborn challenges before you, not with the real currency as others may think, but with the currency of intimacy and copulation. As the days grow taller and your needs grow feathers, you become broke again, and use what you have to get what you want. Gradually, it becomes a way out, your last resort, and finally, a habit. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and just when life is beginning to make sense, just when your life is about to become complete, the consequence of, use what you have to get what you want, happens to you, you lose what you have and get what you don't want. This is me right now, Dorothy. For the past 13 years, I've survived and lived by using what I had to get whatever I wanted until I vulgarized, coursed, and exhausted what I had, and now have to live with what I never wanted. Again I say, Dorothy, no matter how broke you are, never use what you have to get what you want. It is better to stay hungry, in fact, die hungry than survive by transacting with your sacred endowment and gift of femininity, only to become a walking corpse in the nearest future. You may have lost your mum, but if you had kept her alive by trading your innocence, you would end up trading with the devil, and he will never rest or leave you until he makes you a lifetime customer of wretchedness and disintegration. If you ever need a reason to heed this advice of mine, remember me, Dorothy, because after today, you'll see me no more. My existence ends today. Do not cry for me and do not pity me. I chose this easy but dangerous road, and I must walk it all alone. Be strong, make mommy proud, and make Lisa proud. I believe in you. Go into the world, become the woman your mom could not become, and become the woman Lisa could not become. Goodbye, Dorothy. She turned her back on me and left to embrace the cold hands of death. I stood still as though I was no longer alive, unable to swallow the very heavy words of Lisa. I shut the door, lay on the bare floor, and cried throughout the night, not knowing what to do or where to start from. I lost my mom a month ago, and just when I thought I had found someone with whom I could sail safely through the angry storms of life, she walked out on me and fell into the ocean, leaving me all alone in this lonely and wretched boat of life. I mourned my mom and Lisa for 7 days. The words of Lisa and those of my mom kept ringing so loudly in my head. Within these 7 days, I forgot that I was 19. The weight of pains and sorrows burned that teenage spirit and mentality within me. The more I groaned, the more I grew. The more I cried, the more my tears, like the oceans, began to drown my fears. The more pain I felt within me, the more courage I gained. The more burdens I was forced to carry, the more determined I was to succeed. On the night of the 7th day, I died as a teenager and rose as a young adult. I wiped my tears with the handkerchiefs of reality and wore the attire of maturity. I decided I was going to march out as an army of myself and face my fears with my hands on my hips. I cleaned my room that night, bent low, and picked up every single piece of courage I had shattered on the floor. The next day, Monday, as early as 8 a.m. in the morning, I ransacked my small suitcase, took my favorite pink gown, and wore it alongside my white ballet flats, which I got as a gift from my mom on my 18th birthday. My late mom was a very beautiful woman, and as such, I mirrored her glamorous look, looking even more gorgeous than she did. My late dad was also a very handsome man, which made me a tapestry of splendor, grace, and elegance. Despite not having too many clothes, due to my breathtaking and exquisite look, my old clothes looked very good on me. My enchanting appearance helped cover my beggarly and dirt-poor background. I took the check of $500 my mom left behind for me and went straight to the bank to claim it. I had not decided on what kind of business I wanted to do. I hoped to get the money first and perhaps begin to brainstorm the most lucrative business I could venture into that could bring a massive return without sinking my capital. I needed to be careful about what kind of business I should do because that $500 was all I had at that moment. It was my only hope of survival, and I prayed strongly not to make the wrong investment. I boarded a bus as usual with the little money I had and headed straight to the bank. On my way to the bank, something happened that made me thank God for putting me in that bus. I sat at the back, close to two responsible-looking ladies who were discussing the integrity of their businesses seriously. The slim lady was into drop shipping, and the chubby one was a hairstylist. The chubby lady shared her experience with the slim lady, the challenges she faced on a daily basis as a hairstylist, and how she was able to overcome them seamlessly. Looking at them, one could already tell that they were seasoned and professional businesswomen who were experts and scholars in their respective fields. The chubby lady complained about the fierce competition in her business, owing to the fact that US was a bustling city with a husky population, and as a result, there were multiple salons and stylists scrambling and vying for customers at all costs, making it very difficult for one to stand out as a hairstylist. She then went further to highlight the strategies and blueprints she followed that helped her maintain her position as one of the most sought-after and popular hairstylists in US. She said that there may be a vast number of stylists in US, but only a few of them are armed with information such as the latest trends and techniques needed to offer unique and high-quality services. She also talked about personal branding. She said that only a few of these hairstylists understand the power of implanting, branding, and publicizing their style, uniqueness, and success story. She said that only a few among these stylists understand the importance of having an online presence, a professional portfolio, and the power of networking and collaboration. She said that the majority of them are like fishes swimming in the same pool, and hence, they don't get repeat customers, because their ingenuity gets lost in a crowd of stylists. They don't have a signature, hallmark, or name that sets them apart from every other stylist in US. This is my little secret, Helen, and this, among many other reasons, is why despite the increasing number of stylists in US, I keep having repeat customers and keep cashing out while others are complaining, she said to the slim lady. I felt like I was in a business class. I totally forgot that I was on a bus and paid keen attention to every single thing they discussed, taking notes, because that was exactly what I needed to hear at that moment. The chubby lady continued and unveiled deep secrets responsible for her success as an A-list hairstylist. She said, most people don't know that it is very easy to get customers, but very hard to keep them. As a hairstylist, I don't struggle to get customers as much as I struggle to learn how to make the few I already have keep coming back to patronize me. I know a hairstylist here in US who attracts at least 20 new customers on a very good day, whereas I struggle to get 10. On less favorable days, she gains neither new nor old customers, whereas my existing customers return in significant numbers, leading to monthly record sales in the millions. Meanwhile, she struggles to make $300 because during bad days, new customers don't come, and her old customers don't return that much either, due to how rude, unprofessional, and poorly she treats them. They never enjoy her services, leave unsatisfied, and never think of coming back, let alone recommending them to others. This is my little secret, Helen, and this is why, despite the increasing number of hairstylists in US, I remain the most sought after and most patronized. The slim lady, Helen, sighed and said, "You've said everything, dear. These are exactly the same principles I've been applying as a dropshipper, which made me a household name despite thousands of dropshippers in the 50 states. Majority of my competitors are in a bid to cash out massively from all ends, hence, they sell and offer almost all the niches there are at once. For example, you'll find a dropshipper who sells clothing, jewelry, skincare products, accessories, and gadgets, home decor, among others, all at once. They make the mistake of thinking that success lies in how many needs you can satisfy, not knowing that it lies in how many people know you to be the best in satisfying a particular need better than everyone else. A vast majority of USA and the 50 states do know me to be the one and only supplier of skincare products. Hence, rather than buying from a dropshipper who supplies over 10 different categories of products, they buy from me, believing I must be an expert and one who knows the nitty-gritty of skincare products, capable of delivering the best of qualities since that is the only thing I'm known for. Second to this is partnering with a local supplier. A lot of dropshippers think that customers would sing their praise or perhaps clap for them if they always ship their products directly from international suppliers. This could actually be the best option and could, of course, build trust and confidence in the minds of your customers. But not if in a bid to render top-notch service, you end up wasting their time. In business, time is considered by many as important as money. No matter how authentic or original we tend to offer or deliver our services, if we don't satisfy our customers on time, like salt, our product or services lose their flavor and become as useless as medicine after death. This is why, despite having all the connections in the world, it may sound surprising that I partner with local suppliers far more than international suppliers. Not because I lack the wherewithal or finance, but because it reduces shipping times, helping me to always deliver on time compared to my competitors. And guess what? I end up winning 2 zeros by satisfying customers, thereby getting repeated customers and also saving so much money that would have been used to cushion shipping costs. When I thought I had heard everything from the hairstylist, Helen revealed even more secrets as a dropshipper that would have cost me millions of naira to learn. I sat like a statue, with my right hand supporting my puzzled and astonished jaw, wondering where on earth I would have been taught so many indispensable business secrets from 2 of the most successful businesswomen in US in a single sitting. I knew at that moment that this was the handwork of God, no doubt, because I never premeditated or decided that I was going to board that particular bus. I only left the house, and though I nurtured thoughts on what kind of business I should do with the $500 I was going to get from the bank, I least expected and never imagined that I was going to get 2 business moguls to educate me for free on the bus on the ins and outs of business. So much so that even before I got to the bank, I had already known exactly what to do with the money. That was actually the first miracle I had in a very long while. I felt so blessed and at the same time, so emotional. It seemed at that moment like I had found a companion. I enjoyed for a moment the benefit of a friend indeed and having someone to run to when you're confused and need guidance. The sweet memories I had shared with my mom and Lisa, like a cool breeze, hugged me tight until I felt cold, and made me long and pine for their presence like the brooks pant after the water. I became completely lost in the maze of recollections and remembrance. It was at this moment that the driver summoned my spirit back into my body when I was told they had reached my destination. I jolted like one who was brought back to life, and staggered my way down, half conscious, half unconscious. I managed to cross the bustling and hustling road and walked over to bank to cash the check. As I entered the bank's premises and got to the main entrance, I decided to remove the check from my handbag and hold it in my hands since I was already inside. Lo and behold, the check was not inside my handbag. I turned my handbag upside down and still couldn't find it. I didn't know if I should scream or faint. My heart began to beat so fast that I couldn't breathe. I knelt down right there before the bank's door, unable to breathe, until one of the security personnel sighted me from a distance and rushed to know what was wrong. "Hey, are you okay? What's the problem? What's wrong with you? Talk to me. Are you okay?" he asked. "My check. I can't find it." I kept it right inside this handbag, boarded a bus, and headed straight to the bank. Upon reaching here, I checked and couldn't find it. "It's all I've got. I'm finished," I said, locking my hands on my head, and sitting on the floor, crying, unable to believe I just lost the check. The security personnel requested my handbag so that he could be sure it wasn't hiding somewhere inside the bag. I gave it to him. He also checked and couldn't find anything. He opened all the tiny zips, but the check was nowhere to be found. He asked me to call someone at home and ask if I forgot it back home. I sighed and told him I was living alone and remembered putting the check inside my handbag before going out. He suggested that maybe I forgot the check inside the bus that brought me to the bank. I told him it wasn't possible because I wasn't holding the check, it was inside my handbag. Since I didn't forget my handbag, the check should be inside, I said. He insisted that if that's the case, then maybe I forgot to put the check inside my bag. He suggested I take a bus home, thinking the check might be there. I doubted him because I remembered vividly how I slipped the check inside my handbag before leaving the house. I sat there for almost an hour, and more people took an interest and drew close to know what happened. 90% of the people said that I forgot it at home, and only 10% said I forgot it in the bus. They all advised me to go back home and look for it, strongly believing that since it's not inside the bag and not on the bus, it should be at home. After many thoughts, I agreed and decided to go back home, hoping to find the check there. I got home and couldn't find my house keys. I became so frustrated, wondering what I did to deserve all this unnecessary suffering and affliction. Just when I thought that God had decided to reduce my burdens, the opposite happened, and my life became even more disgruntled and dejected. 1 minute ago, I lost my check and came all the way from the bank to look for it at home, only to realize I've lost my keys as well. I leaned against my door, wishing the ground would open and swallow me. I gradually began to lose the appetite to live. It seemed like my situation grew from bad to worse. Every atom of hope I had nurtured within me disappeared like a mirage, and I fell back into the well of depression and mourning. I began to wish that Lisa never stopped me that night and had allowed me to end it right there. Like I knew what was awaiting me, I wasn't wrong after all. If I had ended my life that night, I never would have regretted it. I wished I weren't alive rather than living and suffering such great and continuous disappointment. I stood for another hour and decided to go back to the bank, hoping I left my keys there. My intention was to get the keys, and come back home to end my life immediately. I arrived at the bank and went inside like a walking corpse, looking for the keys that would usher me into the underworld. The security personnel was very happy to see me, thinking I found the check at home and came back to cash the check. Unfortunately, he seldom knew that a greater catastrophe had befallen me, and I came with a sequel of calamities. As I drew closer to him, he noticed the sour and acidic look on my face and quickly swallowed his excitement and asked, "What happened again?" "You won't believe that I got home and realized I had also lost my house key." I didn't want to conclude that I lost it yet and was hoping I forgot it here. "Did you see any bunch of keys around?" I asked him. "Please tell me you're joking." I didn't see any bunch of keys, and in fact, the moment I spotted you from a distance, I was glad, thinking you found the check at home. But when you approached, I noticed you looked unhappy, and I felt something had gone wrong. Are you for real? How can you lose your check and your house key at the same time? I thought you said the check was inside your handbag. How about the keys? Where did you keep them? Were you holding them, or did you also put them inside the handbag? He inquired, making me even more confused because indeed, both the check and my keys were inside my handbag. How then is it possible for them to go missing at the same time, and I'd still be holding my handbag? That has never happened to me. And to think of it, I sat close to two responsible, not hungry, and high-class ladies. It's literally impossible for them to rob a small girl like me. They don't look like thieves at all. They looked very responsible, and I believe the reason they stooped so low to board a bus must be that there was terrible traffic that day, and even taxis were held in never-ending traffic. "Can I check your bag again, please?" the security personnel said. I gave it to him and kept trying to unravel such a mysterious scenario. "Who is this?" he said, flashing a national identity card before me. "That's me, of course. Can't you see?" I yelled at him. He said I should look again. I snatched the ID card forcefully from him to demonstrate the resemblance. As I looked closer, I saw the picture of one of those two ladies I met on the bus, and it was the chubby one, the hairstylist. That was when I realized that we had exchanged handbags. I mistakenly took hers, and she took mine as well.